Stuart Woods, Scandalous Behavior. Okay, so my understanding here is that Stuart Woods is it's a very successful author, like many people who have 20 plus books about a character. This character, what was his name again? Stone Barrington. And he's an American lawyer, and he flies to England, to Southampton, which is where most of my family in England lives, around in that area in Hampshire, the county. And so he goes to Bewley, which is a place I've been to as well, and it's an incredibly posh area, and so he buys this giant estate in Bewley, and from then on it plays out like a Murder, She Wrote episode, basically. Like, you know, it's not that great. I guess he's like a lawyer, although I didn't even get that until later on in the book. Maybe they mentioned it briefly, I don't know, but he's basically just a really rich guy that gets everything right, and very smooth. He was able to easily disarm somebody. There's like a murder that happens in the very beginning on the estate grounds, and I don't know, like, I just didn't like the book that much. You know, it's I love that part of England, and I like fancy, you know, things, and you'd think a story like that would be right up my alley, but yeah. Stuart Woods. So, I don't know, I would read another book, I guess. I'm not gonna like run to the store and buy one. It just seemed to be, you know, with all these authors that crank out these books, like 1 or 2 a year or whatever they're doing, I don't know. I just wonder like how you can put a whole lot of creativity and passion into every single last thing. And I don't know, you know, it just seems like it's about money at some point, and which is fine, you know. I mean, if you're entertaining people or whatever, you know, I definitely would like to be rich. I mean, I think most people would, but I don't know, like I feel like some of the artistry of literature is lost when it becomes all about financial gain purely. I don't want to accuse him of just outright greed, but I don't know. I do think he probably has some kind of interesting relationship or experience with money, because, you know, I mean, it's this like hero of his is incredibly wealthy. Like I said, or I don't know if I said this yet, but like worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and yeah, it would be interesting because people like that do have a different place in society, and they have certain social powers that, you know, more average people can't generally exercise. So it is interesting to see how they solve problems, but sometimes it just seems like there's almost no conflict, really. Like, nothing is especially difficult for this character, and there's plenty of ways to make conflict very real for a wealthy character like Bruce Wayne, Batman. You know, at one point, and one thing I thought was really interesting about Dark Knight Rises, the movie, they took all of his money away from him, and, you know, he was still a badass. And maybe he does this in some other book, but I just seemed like he was phoning this one in almost, and it was a bit of a chore to get through, and it was okay. It was okay. Like I said, I'm intrigued by Stone Barrington, but yeah, this best-selling novel, fiction of January 31st, I'm guessing it got there because he's developed a following over decades of writing, and, you know, you just have fans after a while, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. And I think this character could be in a very, very interesting story at some point. So that was Scandalous Behavior, and I decided to film it on a tennis court. because it felt bougier somehow to do so. And but yeah, it was interesting because I was about to wrap it up, but again, I just want to revisit the idea that it was set in Bewley and Southampton, and they talk about the Isle of Wight and the Solent and all these places that I've been to. So like that was kind of neat to like, because I never read a story that's really set in that part of England. It's, you know, it's like an hour and a half, or I don't know exactly, can't remember, southwest of London. I think that's about right. So that was kind of nice. It's kind of nice. It was neat. Like I could just very easily imagine what that area was like. So I don't know. I wonder if it was as clear to other people, because I think he does rely a lot on cliches again. So sorry, Stuart Woods. You must be rich for a reason. I'm sure you wrote an awesome book at some point. All right, that's it. Bye.